Green Spring. It is a beautiful day, hot summer day here in our nation's capital, and I am here with Renee Budd from Garden Ridge, and we're going to be talking today about Alzheimer's, and with it being the summer solstice, also the longest day. We're going to find out more what that means here in just a minute. But first, I want to introduce you to Renee Budd. Renee, for our new residents, myself, being somewhat new, can you give us a little more background about yourself? Tell us what you do here at Green Spring and all that good stuff.
Good morning, Elliot. I'm
morning.
glad to be here this morning. I'm Renee Budd, and I'm the program manager at Garden Ridge. They've changed the name to program manager. It's same as activities director, but we've jazzed up the name because we do more than just activities. And activities is a old verbiage of programming, so we want to say programming now. That's what we say. I've been with Green Spring for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Started out over in community resources, then moved on to intermissions, and then headed over to Garden Ridge, where I love what I do, love our residents, and we keep them really engaged in meaningful activities.
So you know Green Spring pretty well.
Yeah, I know it well. Been here for quite a while and seen quite a lot, and have loved all the changes that have come upon us. Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
So today is the longest day, they call it, for Alzheimer's awareness.
Yes, it is. The longest day is also celebrated. It's in cooperation with the Alzheimer's Walk. They celebrate it every year. Longest day means taking the opportunity to spend time with our loved ones who are affected with dementia. The Alzheimer's Association, if you look on the website, it has quite a few activities that you could do with someone who has dementia. What we do at Garden Ridge is we look at it as a day to do some fun and engaging programs, like taking the residents out for a walk. They love to walk down to the pond. Of course, today's weather is a little hot, so maybe just a walk inside the building, or even taking them and sitting at a table and having a glass of lemonade or coffee or tea just to chat, because that is showing your love. Family members come in as well. They come in every day, but today's a special day. It's the longest day. It's a day where we get that opportunity to show our love to our residents with dementia.
Wonderful. So can I ask you, so is dementia and Alzheimer's, is it the same thing? Is dementia just another word for Alzheimer's? How does that?
Dementia and Alzheimer's, they are the same. With Alzheimer's, we don't know if a person, senior, has Alzheimer's until the end of life, and when they do that autopsy, they look at the brain, and that's when they're able to tell, where the brain was affected. So,
really,
we do say dementia because it comes in many different forms, and so both could be the same, but we really don't know about Alzheimer's until the end.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes.
So it's called dementia now,
yes.
and then
at the end stage, and we still, of course, people still do say that person has Alzheimer's, but research has told us at the end of life, and we know that, but the resident tends to deteriorate as the disease process goes along. So it is a long process, and it's a hard process. If you've ever had the opportunity to come to Garden Ridge and go to our, we call it our memory care neighborhood. We call it where the VIPs live. It's awesome there. Of course, we've had a new facelift. Our neighborhood looks different. We don't say unit anymore. We say neighborhood.
Nice.
Because it's a neighborhood. It's a neighborhood of residents, staff, working and living together. So
I like that.
You'll see the different stages of the dementia or the Alzheimer's. Yes.
Very cool. And you guys are about to open up. I know it's a little off topic, but
Yeah.
Dogwood Commons is about to open up.
Dogwood Commons is about to open. The fourth floor will be our memory care neighborhood. From looking at the plans, haven't been inside the building yet, but it's going to be wonderful. Some of our sister campuses have the same model. So some of us have had the opportunity to look at them. We'll have like a small theater on the neighborhood,
Oh, cool.
a movie theater. There's a library. There's a place where the residents can play pool. It's just going to be state of the art nice. And so we're looking forward to that opening.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think most of us have known or know somebody that, suffers from dementia, and it's a painful thing to watch,
Yes.
a loved one go through.
Yes, it really is.
So, and we're so busy with our lives, we want to be able to care for them.
Yes.
But most of us work and stuff, we can't do that. So it's nice to see that, wherever whatever place we entrust with our loved ones, well-being, is doing, taking steps to make sure their days are spent comfortable and happy. And so it's really nice to hear that Erickson's doing that, for the residents.
And of course, Erickson takes pride in all that we do. And when it comes to, assisted living health care, post-acute memory care, we at Garden Ridge, we want to make sure that we give our residents the best days. And some may say, oh, that place, Garden Ridge, I don't want to go there. It's not the end of life. There's so much life there in our building. And as a whole entire team, we make sure that happens because we are going towards the person-centered care, and it's not where it's just my team programming who are responsible for the activities anymore. It's everybody. We've all been trained on how to engage the residents. Looking at a holistic assessment, knowing what that resident wants to engage in, what their past activities and interests were, it's key, because that way we'll know how to better engage that resident in life, and so that they can have long-lasting fulfillment, enjoyment, just life living with us at Garden Ridge.
Absolutely, that's wonderful. It's
Yeah.
very cool to hear. So do you guys work closely then with Amy and Rachel over in Intermissions?
Glad you asked. We have not, but we are in the process of starting a partnership with Amy and Rachel, correct?
Yeah.
Because music is key. Even myself, I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is I turn on my radio. My favorite music is gospel music.
Nice.
It gets me going in the morning. So just think about a resident who loves music, and you turn music on, and that music, it engages them. Maybe a resident who's in the later stages of dementia, who is just laying in a still position, but they hear music and their hands start to tap, and they hear that song in their head, and then they try to verbalize it out, and you go up to them and you say, hey, let me call you sweetheart, and they start singing with you. So music is everything. And then you have the dance therapy, the music. That's an engagement that really triggers something in a resident. It's that spark. So Amy and myself and Yolanda, who is my assistant, are working on getting them over to do some programs for us in Garden Ridge. And that's in the process. So thanks for asking about that.
Very cool.
That's very key.
Yeah, I really enjoyed, I came over to tape the Dale Jarrett.
Yes.
Dale Jarrett Goes to Hollywood, I
Yes,
think.
he does.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was really cool, and
Yes.
it made my heart warm that so many of the employees that were there, all the employees,
Right.
care so much and are so engaged with the residents over there, and they're not just kind of pushing people around just
Right.
from place to place. They're really engaged with the residents and care deeply for them.
Yeah.
So I was really happy to see that.
Yes.
That was a really cool experience. So let's talk a little more about the Alzheimer's walk. So
Yes.
So it's Reston Town Center, September 29th?
23rd.
23rd.
It starts at 3 o'clock. Registration starts, I think, at 1:30. We'll have more detailed information coming out very soon. This is a campus-wide event. And when I say campus-wide, we want everybody from the residents, family members, to staff. We want staff to bring out your fur friends with you. Bring your dog so he can walk with you. It's an event to where we get the opportunity to get out there and walk for the cause. The cause is to end Alzheimer's. We're raising this money to do that. Green Spring has been so gracious to donate $5,000 towards this event. So when we walk, we don't ask anybody to pay anything. All we ask is that you come out and walk with us, enjoy the day with us. Transportation is provided.
Oh, wow.
We'll be picking up folks right here at Green Spring. This year, we're also going to let our staff ride the bus if need be.
Wonderful.
Because in the previous years, staff have wanted to get out there, but of course, have not had the transportation to get out there. So we're going to bring that back this year. We're going to have 2 buses going out to the event. You get there, there's vendors tables, there's food for people to enjoy, there's music. It's just a fun event. And I get to take all my family with me, and we get to go on a walk for the day, but we're walking for a cause.
That's great. So Erickson basically, they donate, Erickson basically gives a chunk of money, which allows all the residents and staff to go for free, essentially.
Exactly.
That's very cool.
We're all together, and we're sponsoring. We are one of the big sponsors. We get a really nice table where we will have a table for our walkers to come by, and we'll have information to give out about Garden Ridge and Green Spring at the table. But our sponsorship gets put on the program and on the Alzheimer's website, which is awesome. It lets the community know that Green Spring cares about this disease.
How many years have Green Spring been doing this walk?
I want to say we've been doing it for as long as I've been here, 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And I know, and probably even longer. So I'm probably saying we've probably done this for 20 years.
Very cool.
Yeah, coming up on our 20th year anniversary. We probably have, yeah.
I know they're been showing some great pictures
Yes.
of the walk over the years.
Yes.
So the bus is, it's on a Sunday.
It's on a Sunday,
Okay.
a Sunday afternoon. So you want to go to church or wherever you do on Sunday, go to brunch, enjoy your family, then we'll be picking up at the town center. Meet us in town center where the bus will pick everybody up. We'll head out to Reston Town Center. And again, you can eat out there with your family members because the bus will get out there early. There's lots of nice restaurants in that area to eat. Then we do the walk. There is an awesome ceremony which is so beautiful at the end, where we have rose petals, and with those rose petals, there's a different color. It's for somebody that you know that has Alzheimer's, someone who is a caregiver, someone who may have lost someone, and we're in the middle and we're holding up all these rose petals, and it's just a rainbow of color. But then it lets us see how many are affected by this disease.
Wow. And so now if people want to sign up, they can call you in your office, right? I think we have the phone number up at 604 4438.
4438, yes. And if I'm
Excellent.
not there, please leave a message. I will get back to everyone. Some of the things that we are doing is we're going to be going to the clubhouses, and we're going to have clubhouse sign-ups. We're going to do it during dinner time, where we'll sign folks up. We're going to have a pep rally the Friday before the walk over at Garden Ridge to get people all excited about the walk. We're also looking at having a speaker in August, a family member who is going to come in and speak about what Alzheimer's, how it has affected her life, and how she has moved through the process with her loved one, which can be very powerful because, again, it's a disease that starts from the beginning and goes to the end, and it's hard to see your loved one go through all the change
But
that
yeah,
the disease does to you.
It's nice to have support of others
Exactly.
that,
Exactly.
have gone through this, similar circumstances. Just real quick before we wrap up, so today being the longest day, is there anything that residents or family members can do today to kind of help honor, people they may know or they know or have known?
I challenge everybody today to take a walk over to Garden Ridge. If you know someone over there who's been affected by dementia, Alzheimer's, go over and just say hi. They may not recognize you, may not know you, but they always enjoy seeing a friendly face. Just go by and say hi, or call someone who you know who may be affected. Just say hello. Reach out to someone today and just let them know, hey, I love you. I was thinking about you.
Very cool. And so I think there's also something on the website regarding the longest day. And kind of the idea is people can do an activity, by themselves or with a group to kind of honor their loved ones or friends who, they know have suffered or are suffering from
That
this.
is correct. Go on to the Alzheimer's Association. Of course, we're with the Fairfax County side, but on the website it shares and it gives you some examples of things that you can do today to with a loved one. Bullet point by bullet point, things you can do. You can also donate to the Alzheimer's Association if you'd like, but there are a number of activities on there that you could engage someone in today.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, that sounds great. Well, I think we're running out of time, so would you like to go ahead and introduce the audience to the next video that we're going to be watching?
Sure. The next video that we're going to be watching is it was during National Nursing Home Week, where we took the opportunity to listen to some residents' life stories. You're going to hear some stories today of residents and where they came from, where they're at. And the stories are powerful stories. So I hope you get the opportunity to really listen and engage on where the residents came from. And I hope you enjoy it. I want to say thank you all for letting me come on this morning and share about the Alzheimer's Association, the walk, and also to share about the longest day, but also this video. Thank you all so much for helping us with it.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Robert J. Behrens, B-E-R-E-N-S.
And I'm Robert's daughter, Leslie, his middle daughter.
I was 18 years old when I went in World War II and went to Europe, North Africa, Italy, spent a lot of time in the war. And it was a great experience. It was a great growing up experience. And I came out of the war and had the GI Bill, which was a great thing because I had to go to college. And the experiences and people that I've met and have never gotten away from.
Where'd you go to college, Dad?
I went to Iowa University.
In Iowa City?
In Iowa City.
Uh-huh.
And I always wanted to go to college. Never thought that I could. They treated us very well. The Army was very good to me. And
Did you do ROTC,
I
Dad?
took ROTC at college. Paid some money for that. Then I went on and made Army a career. Spent 40 years altogether in the Army. And great people, great institution. And it was just a fantastic experience, yes. I spent all over. I went to Europe and Italy, and I went to Korea eventually, and went to Vietnam. I had 3 wars in the Army. And the Army was very good for me, and I would like to think that I was good for the Army too.
You were, Dad. You were, Dad. So we had great experiences growing up as children of in military families, military brats. All 3 of my sisters and I appreciated the experience.
Yeah.
And our father was a great role model, and our mother, as a military wife, was a great role model as well for us coming into adulthood. But the opportunities we had living around the country and overseas were life enhancing, life expanding, and have affected us to this day, and we're very appreciative of what my father and my mother did and of our military experiences. Dad wrote a book about his life story and had it published in World War II when he was just a young man,
Yeah.
that we never heard about growing up.
Yeah.
And it was only when Dad wrote these stories down that we learned about all the things he experienced and
Yeah.
all the history that he was a part of.
My name is Arlene Wilson. I'm here with my husband, who's in memory care at Garden Ridge. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of my immigrant ancestors. My immigrant ancestors all came from Germany. My one grandfather had an interesting story that he was on the boat coming over, and he had his 16th birthday on the boat, and he was in charge of his 14-year-old brother, and they came together this country by themselves. They did have older sisters living here, that's true. His father came to Scotland, from Scotland to Canada, and later immigrated to Minneapolis. And ultimately, I guess they moved to California, where he was born.
I own a Krim Gilbert, World War II woman Marine, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina.
So, and what did you do there?
What did you
But
do?
I had worked in the Pentagon before it was finished. There was no one on the 5th floor at the time. But being a secretary there was a little boring. That's why I joined the Marine Corps. A freed a man to fight, whether he wanted to or not. And in the Marine Corps, not many women learned to drive. My father made me a good driver, so I got driving a 1.5-ton mess hall truck, Jeeps and station wagons. And I got to take the guys into the city to pick up the payroll. And so I had a Marine with a rifle in the front seat and a Marine in a car in the back of me. And then we went and picked up the payroll and come back for the base. And I stayed in the Marine Corps until the end of the war, and then they put us out. They didn't want any more women, I guess. So I spent rest of my years in the Pentagon as a secretary. I lived in Washington, on 16th Street. 3 of we girls rented an apartment. And we'd ride the bus down to work, and the bus driver got so he'd wait for us as we come out running with our coat. We got moved over into the Pentagon, and we moved to Virginia then. The women Marines stayed at the base. We went nowhere, and we freed a man to fight. We always said whether he wanted to or not. But we drove mess hall trucks, Jeeps, and station wagons.
I'm Mabel Wilkinson Thornton. And I just will talk about things in general. I was born in Amelia County, Virginia. And that is about 40 miles southwest of Richmond, Virginia. I'm a country gal. Born and bred. I didn't spend a night in the city until I was 16 years old. I wanted to go to school. My mother would always talk about, and my father, about becoming educated and wanted the children to become educated. But in Amelia County, there were no schools for blacks higher than elementary. So my father, who was a minister, and many of the other people in Amelia County worked to build a high school for blacks. We paid taxes, and we had sales, ice cream sales. My mother was, I guess, a top ice cream maker for the school. And the elementary school was right in the community, and the black parents had built that, really. And they had sales of little things like that ice cream and whatever other little cookies and things that people would love to eat. And they would have it at the end of the program or whatever the school was giving. School at little plays and recitals of poems. My parents both would love poetry. They would read to us. And of course, my father, being a preacher, loved to talk and to recite poetry and the Psalms of the Bible and all. But the big story here is that we had to raise money to build a high school for blacks. So about 1932, I think it was, the high school for blacks was finished. One family gave the money for the land, and the churches and the elementary schools had raised money. And so we were hopefully going to have the high school there, at least by the time I was going. But lo and behold, it went. We finished it about 33, I think it was, when my sister was just ahead of me, Cornelia, finished elementary school. But before that, my sister Roberta, who was number 6 in the family, there were 11 of us, 7 girls and 4 boys. And one sister, Roberta, my father and mother felt was so smart that they needed to somehow get her more education, but they didn't have the money to send her anywhere. But they decided that she would repeat the 7th grade. They said, well, go on, and even though you know all the material, you might be able to pick up something. But so she repeated the 7th grade to see what else she could learn. And she was the one in the family that, well, she left, all of the girls left home early, but she left home and when she was, I guess, about 12. And she worked for a lady in Richmond and received $5 a week. And of course, you know what that is. But Roberta was so dedicated to the family that she wanted to make sure the younger ones had a better choice than she did. She would send money home every other week. She'd send $5 in order for Mommy and Daddy to help pay for the land. They had bought it, but they hadn't finished paying for it. And but she was just so dedicated to the family. My mother, I'll tell you about that in a minute. My mother died early, and Roberta was the one to come home and take care of my younger sister, Fanny, who was 10 when my mother died. So she made many sacrifices for all of us. And that's the only reason I'm here today, is because of sacrifices that the other sisters and brothers made for me and for each other. It's called Russell Grove High School in Amelia, Virginia. And it's called Russell Grove High School because it is named after the Presbyterian chapel that was there in Amelia. The Presbyterian always did as much as they could to help the community. And when the school first opened, it had not been built. And they loaned them the top floor for the school to actually open 2 years before it was built. They had the money and whatnot, and they were ready to go. So that's why it's called Russell Grove High School. It's named after that church in which it was open. They only had 2 rooms up there, but they wanted to get going and to be all set when the school was built. I had one brother named Marion who was very, I guess they have a name for it now, AD something.
ADHD.
ADHD. I'm number 10. Raymond's number
8.
9, yeah, he was number 8, who was so fidgety and whatnot. When he started elementary school, my mother wrote the teacher a note, and we always teased him about it until the day he was died, and asked the teacher, please be patient with Marion. He hasn't been still since he was born. So that was one thing. He loved to tease, and he could get everybody something. He had something on them, but we all had that on him.